più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte giorno di torno girano.
Welcome back to Magic Machine with Daddy and me. Action!
Let's do it.
In this video, we are going to do something very special. Our first
Interview on the road.
woohoo!
All right, here we are at the Magic Apple. So now let us meet the Grandmaster himself of Magic, the owner.
Brent!
Brent, come on out.
Yo!
Whoa! What up?
How'd you guys?
Doing?
When'd you get here? I've been here for like 4 hours. I've been waiting for you.
That's what he
It's
does.
magic.
That's what he does. He appears in
You
this
weren't
period.
here. Yeah. Anyway, how you guys doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Well,
happening?
we're here. Our first road trip
On tour.
on
Yeah.
tour.
Magic Machine on tour.
World famous Magic Apple. It's like the only magic shop in the area
Wow.
and the best shop in the country, I would say.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go. So we have some questions. Luke, you have some questions for the man?
What inspired you to open a magic shop?
Well, I've been doing magic. How old are you? 11? 10? No, you're
10.
10. I've been doing magic since I was 8, so 2 years younger. And I used to go to another store in Hollywood when I first moved. I'm from Toronto, so when I first moved here, went to the Hollywood store, and I realized that there's no other stores easy enough to get to. And when I first opened the Magic Apple, there was educational supplies, so I sold like textbooks and graphs for the classroom and flashcards and workbooks, and that was the main part of the store. And just that little area, we'll take a tour later. That little area was magic. And then slowly more and more magicians would come, and the educational supplies got smaller, and the magic shop got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then a guy I used to know opened up another location here, and then we knocked a hole through the wall. He's the other guy. We knocked a hole in the wall and expanded, and now it's just been here, and
Wow.
it's been 13 years.
Wow.
13 years. That's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
a long time.
If you didn't have a magic shop, what would you be doing?
I would be sleeping on your couch, and then we'd change from beds to couches. No, I think I'd be a teacher. I went to college to be in the movie business, and then I tried that for a few years, and didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. And then I went to get a teaching credential, and was going to try that if I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't really have another plan. Either in the movies or a teacher, I think, were my two plans. My wife's a teacher, so
Well,
I
that's
see
great.
that world.
It sounds like a lot of stories of magicians that magic kind of not saved them, but gave them a nice fun path.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and in TV and movies and stuff, those are super long days, and some of the people are hard to deal with. So I, for like 5 years, did that, and I had enough.
That's good. You learned, right?
Yeah,
What advice would you give to young magicians?
I think whenever you learn a trick, or buy a trick, or read a trick, or watch a trick, maybe find out who originated it or where it came from. I'm a big fan of reading a lot of books in real life too, not even just magic books, but we've got a lot of books, and a lot of people nowadays, a lot of younger magicians, teenagers, will see a trick on YouTube that maybe somebody did on television or on America's Got Talent, and then they'll take it and use it as their own. So it's not their trick to take. Be original and get the foundation of where your tricks came from.
How much should they practice?
I think a lot. I don't think, don't spend 8 hours a day doing it because you'll go crazy. But I think once you learn a trick, I always try to tell people, if you can practice 20 minutes a day on that trick, maybe not on a routine or on a show, but if you learn a new card trick, practice it 20 minutes a day for maybe a week or two, and then show some friends, and then get their feedback. And then maybe it's ready to show a real audience of strangers and stuff, because it's the worst if you screw up a trick in the middle of it.
Right.
But if you practiced just a little bit more, because I see a lot of guys come in here and they buy a trick on Thursday and they're performing it on Saturday. But that is not the way to do magic, I don't think.
Yeah. It's like the hidden secret of magic. It looks easy when you're good at it.
Right.
They don't see all the work that you put into it, by yourself in a little room with a mirror or with a camera now. In the old days we used a mirror, but now we have cameras and phones. So rehearsing is so critical, like an instrument too, right?
Yeah,
we always
totally,
talk about
yeah.
that. You can't buy a violin and call yourself a violinist.
Yeah, you can't. If you wanted to be a high diver, you have to learn to swim first. If you
Right.
want to do these big illusions,
You're right.
learn the little stuff first.
That's
So
a
learn the
good
background
Very
first.
good.
I like
And
that.
you're not going to learn how to high dive off YouTube. So don't learn magic
Well,
off YouTube.
you could,
You could.
but-
You could probably watch some party fouls on YouTube while
Yeah.
with diving for sure.
Right. That's a good analogy. I like that.
What is the best thing about your job?
I love magic, and I love to learn new stuff, and I see so many faces, and I've met so many magicians that have come in that I used to watch when I was a kid. And just, it's so fun, and I make my own hours, which is nice. So if I don't feel like coming in one day, I don't have to, although I always do. And there's no boss. Like, it's nice to kind of be creative, and if I want to move stuff around, I can move stuff around. If I want to change the hours, I can do that. If I want to practice a trick on people, I have a constant audience always if I'm learning a new trick, which is good too.
A lot of
That's
famous magicians started off at a magic shop, right?
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Martin worked at the magic shop at the
Disneyland, yeah,
Disneyland,
Disneyland.
and a lot of other good guys. Even Harry Anderson.
Yeah, I was in New Orleans. A lot of guys from Hollywood Magic now are maybe not super big and famous, but they started at the Hollywood Magic Store demoing magic tricks, and now they work at the castle, or they're award winners, or they've written books. It's a good place, and it's fun to watch kids grow up. Like, imagine there was a kid that came in who was 10, now he's 23 years old, and he's still doing magic, but this
Wow.
was his first place,
Oh wow.
which is super cool.
That is very cool.
There's a lot of magician members at the Magic Castle in Hollywood that the first time they saw a magic trick was in this store, and now they're members, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
fun.
You're also helping people audition now, right? They come here to help get
Yeah,
lessons. You have
if
lessons
they want
here.
to learn how to do a couple tricks or a couple moves, and I'll structure it or get some structure with them, or help them pick out music, or help them routine stuff, and yeah, it's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you sell magic to people that do magic, but then do you do other stuff? Like, do you work with any like TV or films, or do you do any stuff like that? What kind of stuff? Because people think a magic shop is just tricks, but there's so much more. Like lessons you teach,
Yeah.
and then consulting, and then what kind of stuff did you do for like TV and film? Any movies you can talk about?
Yeah, well, we can when we give you the tour of the store, we have a private classroom that we do a lot of consulting in for TVs and films. There's a big movie coming out this summer in 2017 from Disney called Magic Camp, and they've come in and bought a lot of things and props, and there's a lot of commercials and TV. Magic is very popular now.
Yeah.
So Tony and I will consult on stuff or help create stuff, and there's commercials, and it's kind of everything. But again, people think it's super easy. They'll come in and say, we want a person to levitate, and then a dove to appear, and then them vanish, but we can't use camera tricks.
Right.
There's no such thing as that
Right.
without tons of practice. We can make it happen,
Sure.
but it just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And it's cool because they feel like they're learning a real secret. Sometimes the secrets are easy, like you know some of the easy secrets, and you know some of the difficult secrets. But sometimes when we tell them there's a trap door or it's battery operated, they think it's really cool. And they have people in the movie business and TV. I think they respect magic a little bit more because they realize, dude, this is harder than I thought it was,
Yes.
and that's cool.
Do you have a favorite magic trick?
I don't think I have a favorite one. I think I like magic with cards and with normal objects more than I like the big, huge boxes and the big illusions. These are awesome, and I love to watch them. And there's guys at the Magic Castle in the big boxes, and I don't even know how some of them work because they look great. But I like stuff that looks like a normal object or pocket-sized stuff that's close up or really shows a skill. But I have one favorite trick. I don't think that's an impossible question. It's like your favorite kid.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
They're both my favorite.
I know you do a great one. Maybe you'll show us later. 4-H trick.
Yeah,
It's one of my favorites. I used to do it, but I haven't done it in 20 years.
Yeah.
And I know that you do it. Maybe you could show it to us.
Sure,
later on.
yeah, for sure, yeah. I think the close-up stuff, and if people want to examine the deck of cards or examine the dice, I think that kind of hanging out at a restaurant with friends and family, I think I like more than a real structured show with a lot of assistance and
Right.
electrical
It's kind of
things.
interactive and
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun too. I think when it's out of the magic, sometimes when it's off the stage, it's more impressive.
Yeah,
If you do it in a regular place, the magic is like, oh, cool, because
Yeah.
you're not expecting
you're
it.
not expecting exactly. Like the Magic Castle is great, but those people go to see
They're ready to-
magic.
right.
So you can kind of get away with more stuff. But if I saw them in Target and I did magic,
You'll
that seems
blow-
impossible.
blow them away.
This is Target. You're not supposed to do magic in Target.
Right.
You know?
I think that's the cool part about it now with YouTube. It's an international language.
Totally.
You know, when I toured, I used to tour all over the world, no matter what language it was. people understand it because it's visual. Something vanishes, something changes. No matter what language you speak, everybody loves it, and that's I think why it brings us all together. We have friends, all of us. We have friends from all over the world, right? All our magician friends, all over the world. So it's a nice way to bring the community of magicians together. So it's a real tight world of magic. You know,
it's cool at the shop. Another thing that's cool about working here is they do come from all over. The summertime is busy for foreign people because they're on vacation to visit Los Angeles, and man, we've had, I think, people from all over, and it's crazy. Sometimes they don't even speak English, and it's cool for me because I'll show them, like you said, a visual trick or a visual little card thing and teach it to them. And I have a couple of customers that are deaf, so now I need to come up with new tricks that don't require any talking.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Hey! Or not even any, because if you can't use sign language, it's just a deck of cards or a color changing thing. So it's cool to get creative with foreign language people or people that can't hear. There's a Magic Castle member, I don't know him, but that can't see and does magic. So there's some cool stuff. It really makes you think outside the box with magic.
Who is a gentleman that has no hands?
Oh yeah, there's a guy called Monty Gilbert who has no hands and does amazing magic tricks. He was on Penn and Teller, and he's had to overcome stuff. And whenever people or kids or young people come in and say, "I just can't," the trick I bought is too hard. I want to return it.
Show them the video.
I can't let you return it because you've bought a secret. Once you've learned a secret, and sometimes the secrets are not very impressive. So sometimes, especially for younger people, they get upset when they buy a trick. And it's
a flap
it's
or something.
Nothing very cool, so they try to return it. Or if they say it's too hard, I say, you know what's too hard? This guy with no arms. And he does really good card magic with no arms, and it's amazing. And he comes in here when he's in town, and he lives in Canada, but he's great. So if ever it's too hard, I tell him, you know what? Put it away. Come back to it in a year or 6 months, and then they appreciate magic more. Because imagine if I just returned it every time, I wouldn't be here because people have just been buying.
I would have that video on the computer and just go here.
Yeah.
Watch him.
Watch this guy.
That's it.
Or a deaf guy or a blind guy. You know, that's if you ever think it's hard, these guys have it this much harder.
What are your goals for the Magic Apple?
Well, the first goal I had was to make it through a year, and that worked.
Right.
The first 18 months of the store were very hard because it was very slow and very educational supplies where there's not a lot of money in it. But I think from now on, goals just keep growing and keep succeeding and keeping. I like to consult and teach lessons almost more than I like performing now because it's just fun. Because then I get to get creative and get creative stuff. In 2007, there was a little article done at the Daily News. And what goals do you have for the Magic Apple? This was in 2007. I said, I would like to continue teaching magic to both kids and adults and eventually put any other magic shop within 20 miles out of business. And now I did that. I don't know if that's a very kind goal, but
was that before Magic closed?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And
that happened on their own.
I had nothing to do with it.
No.
I mean, I feel like I may have hurt their business a bit.
No, that was a family thing.
Yeah.
That had nothing it was just timing.
Right. But it was a good goal. So I can just continue, keep growing, keep having kids, love magic and watching them grow up. And as long as people keep coming and buying magic, I'll keep staying here. So I'm going to show you a trick. I talked about magic with normal objects and stuff. This is a die. It's a big die, just so we could see it on camera. Just give it a roll so you know it's a die, and different numbers come up each time. So that number is 1. Here, roll it again so you know a different number will come up. 6. You want to roll one more time?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to close my eyes. You're going to roll it one last time, but don't tell me what number comes up. Got it? Okay. Now, add the top number, add it to the number whatever number's on the bottom, and think of that new number.
Okay.
Cool, and now hide the die, Luke, so I can't see it.
All right.
So you're thinking of a number, I don't even know what it is. Yeah. I've made this chart right here. It says Luke's Psychic Crayons Chart. Ooh. So, Luke, I want you to look, whatever number you're thinking of, look at the letter next to the number, but don't say it. Okay. So now you're thinking of a letter. Right? You're thinking of a number, forget the number. Now you're thinking of a letter. What I want you to do is I want you to think of a color that starts with that letter. Don't tell me. And, by the way, I made a prediction. You got a color? Impossible. Could be anything. But I made a prediction. I put it in my pocket before we started. What color are you thinking of?
Green.
Green? Color of my shirt. And I knew you were going to say green. And I knew you were going to say G because inside my pocket right here, there's only one piece of paper. It says
Wow! Cool!
no other colors, no other nothing.
Amazing. Oh. Can we show them the secret?
Yeah, just don't tell anybody else.
All right.
And you can tell whoever you like, but perform it. Do you know how this trick works?
No, I do not.
Nice.
Good trick.
So what you need is a die. That's it. And you're gonna make this little chart, but we'll get into that.
Is
in a
that a
minute.
dice?
It's not one die, two dice.
Ah, I used to call it dice as a kid.
Dice is
Nobody ever told me.
Dice die.
Yeah. Okay.
So you make this little chart up, and it's A through J, and A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, all the way to J. And that we'll use in a minute. So you write that on a napkin. If you don't have the type, you don't have to type it fancy. On a napkin when you're at the restaurant, as long as you have one die, you can do this trick. So you write this on a napkin or on the menu and just take the menu home. They like that. Or on the back of the placemat.
Right.
A through J, 1 through 10, they're all equal. That's the first part. Then you explain what you've got. You've got a little die here. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Some people do. And if they do, it doesn't matter because the rest of the trick is really good. So you let them see that it's a real die. They roll it a few times, and it really is a real die. Now, what the secret is, the top and bottoms of all American dice and in Canada always equal 7. So 5 plus 2 equals?
Whoa, 7.
1 plus 6?
7.
3 plus,
That's
4
cool.
plus 3?
7.
That's
What?
That's cool.
Let me pick up your brains and put them back in your head because your mind was blown. So that's the first secret.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you have to pretend like you don't know what that is. So you let them roll a few times to know that it's a normal die. Then you cover your eyes and say, roll whatever number you'd like. Now, whatever number's on top, add that to whatever number's on the bottom. Now, in your brain, you know it's 7. But you don't let them know that you know. So now they're thinking of 7. Then you say, now look, I made a chart. I want you to look at this chart and look for your number. If you're thinking of the number 4, look at D. But they're not thinking of the number. They're thinking of the number
so
7.
it's always 7.
It's always 7.
Wow,
If you're
that's
thinking of the number 9, you're going to think of I. But I don't want to
that's
say
cool.
it. So they're looking. You
Wow.
pretend like you don't know. So okay, now you got a letter. Great. Now I made a prediction, and I put a prediction in my pocket. Now you're thinking of a letter. Okay, think of a color that starts with that letter. Almost like you made it up at the top of your head. You're thinking maybe I should do animal or person. Think of a color that starts with that letter. Now Luke said green, and I said I made a prediction in my pocket. What color? Green. In my pocket, I have the color green, the word green.
Right.
And show your pocket empty because I don't want them to think I have a whole bunch of predictions in there.
Right.
That's it. But now wait!
Why?
What if
They said
gray?
grape.
Grape is not a color, it's
sorry.
a fruit. Who needs the lesson here?
Grape. Oh, right.
If they say gray,
Then what?
then the trick doesn't work. And
Oh.
you're not a very good magician. Just kidding.
No.
It's called an out. In magics, there's a lot. In magics? In magic, there's sometimes you can get outs. So the out of this trick is, in this pocket,
Yeah. Ooh.
is the word gray.
Grape.
So when the trick starts,
So you have 2 options.
2 options.
Ah.
Gray is in the left pocket.
Don't
How many
forget.
letters are in the word gray?
4.
How many letters are in the word left?
4.
So the gray goes in the left pocket.
That's a good memory.
Green has 5. The word right has 5. Black is in it.
Ah.
So I don't say I made a prediction and I put it in this pocket. Because what if you said gray, then I got to go to this pocket. So I just say I made a prediction, I stuck it in my pocket. That's
Oh,
where our pockets
that's
are.
clever.
Easy.
Very, yeah.
Now, one time, I've for real done this trick, for real,
Wow.
10,000 times. For real, not even exaggerating.
Wow.
10,000 times.
Okay.
One time,
They said grapeful.
they said gold. One time!
Oh, gold.
But in my back pocket,
Oh,
I have gold.
So
nice.
that's called having 1 answer and 2 outs.
Well, 3 outs, really, yeah.
Yeah.
3.
So
Wow.
I don't,
That's great.
Yeah.
Great
there's a
trick.
very slim chance someone's going to say gold. But
I didn't even think of gold.
Right.
No.
I didn't
even
either.
after, you never know.
Right.
Always in my back pocket. And even if I just say, I just stuck it in my pocket. Like, they don't know which pocket I'm talking
Right.
about. So I always carry gold, because the one time I don't carry it, they're going to say
Well,
it.
you say I stuck one in my pocket and just
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So psychic
cool.
colors, it's very cool. Take
That's
a little
good.
chart with you. There you go. Awesome.
Just stay right here.
See a trick?
Yes.
The most popular cards in Magic are the Aces. And this is one of the tricks that got me into Magic, or it reinforced my Magic. So we'll use the ace of spades,
Ooh.
the diamonds, the clubs, and the hearts.
Okay.
And we're just going to cover these cards up. No funny business, no funny nothing. Please. So this, the first one is the ace of
Hearts.
hearts. Watch. You place it right down there. You just rub it just like this. Ace of hearts.
Ooh.
The second one, you can see it go. Watch, there's the ace of clubs. You can see it go right in the middle. A little spin, it vanishes. A little spin, it comes back, but changes.
Whoa.
And this one right here, you can even see. We'll do it face down. Right here, give this a little shuffle, a little mix. Gone, and of course right here we'll put this, a little mix like this. Got the ace of spades, clubs, diamonds.
Whoa, nice job.
Woo!
Wow.
High five, Brent.
Very nice. McDonald's Aces, Burger King Aces.
Wow.
Brent Aces.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, that wraps it up.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You're welcome for having you.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You gonna work here when you're older? Because I gotta get out of this game. I'm ready to retire, dude. I need a kid to run the show.
That'll be fun, huh?
But you gotta be
Yeah.
10. Are you 10?
Yeah.
All right, here's the keys. Let me give you the keys to the shop.
Whoa!
I'll see you guys. I'm going to Hawaii.
Bye.